The atmosphere after Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves was a roller coaster of emotions. On one hand, fans were thrilled by the solid victory, a confident 11-point win that put the team ahead in the series 1-0. On the other hand, a cloud of concern quickly settled over the celebration with the news that one of the team's most crucial players had suffered a hamstring injury. At first glance, a grade 1 strain might not sound too alarming, but in the playoffs, every moment counts, and his absence, even for a single game, could shift the momentum in a big way. Now confirmed to be sidelined for at least a week, he's out for the next game, and likely more, depending on how his body responds to treatment. What makes this even more surprising is that this is the first muscle strain of his entire career. That's right, despite the intense physical demands of professional basketball, especially in the postseason, this 38-year-old athlete has never before dealt with this kind of injury. That alone speaks volumes about his discipline, preparation, and overall physical condition. He's had ankle issues, some knee trouble over the years, sure, but never anything like this. It's a testament to how incredibly well-conditioned he is, and it adds a layer of frustration to this moment. The idea that an athlete could go this long without a single muscle strain, only for one to appear right when everything seemed to be aligning, when he was finally hitting his stride in the playoffs, is tough to swallow. The strain was confirmed by MRI, and sources have indicated he will be re-evaluated in 7 days. Until then, the team will have to navigate at least the next stretch of games without him. And that's not an easy task. While grade 1 strains are on the milder end of the injury spectrum, typically taking around 7 to 10 days to heal, every body heals differently. And at 38, recovery time isn't always textbook. There are so many variables to consider. His age, his biomechanics, how clean the MRI came out, and of course the risk of re-injury. The team's medical staff is playing it cautiously, and rightly so. This isn't just about rushing someone back to win one game. It's about making sure he returns at full strength, capable of making a real impact when it counts most. And that impact was already being felt in Game 1. In just 13 minutes on the court, he scored 13 points, shooting efficiently and finding open looks with ease. It really seemed like he was on his way to a dominant performance, maybe even setting the tone for the entire series. There was one particular moment where he broke free on an isolation play, shrugged off his defender, and knocked down a step-back three. He even gave a little nod to a Timberwolves player, almost like asking, "Where are your shoes at?" It was that kind of confidence, that kind of rhythm. He was finally finding space, working off-ball cuts effectively, and exploiting Minnesota's known weaknesses on defense when it came to chasing through screens. He was ready for this moment, and you could feel it in every possession. But then came a jump. Reaching up to grab a pass, something fell off as he landed. He immediately began favoring that left leg, grimacing slightly, but still try to power through. As the minutes ticked on, the discomfort worsened, and eventually, he made the decision to pull himself out of the game. That's when everyone knew something wasn't right. And the reaction from the bench, from the coaching staff, it was emotional. His head coach didn't even know what to say after the game. Instead, he just embraced the player tightly, fully aware of how much work had gone into preparing for this series, how much time and energy had been invested. You could tell this wasn't just a physical setback. It hit the heart of the team. This was supposed to be a series. Based on his form, based on his matchup, he was poised to average upwards of 35 points per game. He had the green light. The coaching staff had worked out a plan that allowed him to operate freely, capitalize on mismatches, and really lead the offense. And the worst part is that, had he stayed healthy, there's a real belief that the Timberwolves wouldn't have had an answer. People were already starting to whisper about a possible trip to the conference finals. That's how good he looked. That's how much of a difference he was expected to make. Now, those conversations are on hold, and the focus shifts to surviving the next 3 games without him. The target now is simple: win at least one of the next 3 games. Doing so would tie the series at 2-2 and open the door for him to potentially return in Game 5. That's the timeline everyone is quietly hoping for. Not because they want to rush him back, but because that's the window that makes the most sense medically and competitively. The team knows it can't rely on a miracle comeback. They'll have to earn it. and that starts with role players stepping up. Already, one of his teammates mentioned how motivating this situation has been, that seeing him go down lit a fire under the group. This isn't just about the next man up mentality, it's about doing it for him, carrying the torch while he's away, honoring the level of play he brought and the leadership he offered. The locker room understands what's at stake. They've seen this before. This isn't the first time they've been without a key player in the playoffs. And they remember how they responded back then, when he missed games in a prior postseason run, but the team still managed to pull off wins. It's not an ideal scenario, far from it, but there's belief. There's experience. There's a core group that knows what it takes to win, even when the odds seem stacked against them. One player in particular will have to take on a much bigger role. He's the one guy on the roster who can consistently create his own shot, who draws defensive attention just by being on the court. He's a natural scorer, someone who's not afraid to attack the rim, get to the free throw line, collapse the defense, and then dish it out to shooters on the perimeter. He's done it before. In fact, during a series against a team from Texas, he showed exactly what he can do when the moment calls for it. Now it's on him to be aggressive, to initiate, to lead. And that leadership can't come from scoring alone. He needs to rebound, defend, communicate, and bring energy every single possession. That's what this team will need to bridge the gap left by their missing star. One of the bright spots is that he's already averaging close to 20 points per game in the playoffs, along with 7 rebounds and 5 assists. That kind of all-around contribution is going to be even more critical now. He's not the most consistent three-point shooter, still hovering around 30%, but he's taking those shots confidently, and sometimes that's half the battle. Especially when the clock's winding down and you're forced to launch a deep one at the buzzer. He's been in those moments, and he's shown he can handle the pressure. What's encouraging is the chemistry this team has built over the last stretch of the season. Another key contributor, someone who recently cracked the starting lineup, has been playing with incredible confidence. He's putting up points, defending well, and bringing a swagger that's hard to teach. The coaching staff loves his energy, and so do his teammates. After one of the recent wins, he even joked around, calling himself a superhero. That kind of lighthearted camaraderie can go a long way, especially in tough times. His development has been one of the biggest surprises, and if he can continue delivering on both ends of the floor, it could help steady the ship while they wait for their leader to return. That's what it's going to take. Collective effort, shared responsibility, and a refusal to give in to the narrative that this team is done without its star. Because make no mistake, the pressure is real. The Timberwolves are hungry, and they know they've been handed an opportunity. Their shooting was off in Game 1, but that's not expected to continue. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the playoffs, and if they start hitting from deep like they usually do, the dynamics of the series could shift fast. Golden State will need to defend the arc better, clean up the boards, and limit turnovers. Those are the little things that win playoff games, especially when you're shorthanded. And defensively, they've shown they can make life difficult. In Game 1, they forced a bunch of mistakes and dominated the offensive glass. That kind of chaos favors them. When the game turns scrappy, when transition points start to pile up, that's where they thrive. They're not going to win by isolating possessions or waiting for someone to be the hero. It has to be organized chaos, where everyone contributes and everything is earned. Now, the question is, can they take Game 2 and build a cushion before their star player hopefully returns? Because the road ahead only gets tougher, and every win counts double when you're trying to protect home court and keep the pressure on the opponent. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a move that has sent shockwaves throughout the NBA, Kevin Durant has officially signed with the Golden State Warriors, a decision that has left fans, analysts, and even players in sheer disbelief. The news, which leaked earlier today, marks one of the most stunning developments in recent NBA history. Durant, one of the league's premier players and a two-time NBA champion, has left the Brooklyn Nets after a highly publicized tenure to join a team already stacked with talent. His decision to join the Warriors, a franchise that boasts one of the most formidable lineups in basketball, raises questions and expectations for the upcoming season. Durant's decision has sent shockwaves through the league for multiple reasons. First, the Warriors have already enjoyed significant success with their core trio of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, securing multiple championships over the past decade. Adding Durant to this mix now, a player of his caliber and scoring ability, seems almost too good to be true. Durant, known for his ability to dominate on both ends of the floor, brings an offensive juggernaut to a team already revered for its shooting prowess. His presence alongside Curry, who is regarded as the greatest shooter in NBA history, has raised expectations for a potential dynasty in Golden State. For the Brooklyn Nets, Durant's departure is a crushing blow to their championship aspirations. Durant was brought to Brooklyn in 2019 to be the centerpiece of a team that would dominate the Eastern Conference. Along with fellow superstars Kyrie Irving and James Harden, the trio was expected to create an unstoppable force. However, injuries, chemistry issues, and inconsistent play kept the Nets from reaching their full potential. Durant's time in Brooklyn, while impressive at times, was ultimately marred by the team's inability to live up to the hype, leaving many questioning what went wrong. The decision to leave the Nets for the Warriors comes at a pivotal moment in Durant's career. At 35 years old, Durant is nearing the tail end of his prime, making it clear that he is focused on winning another championship in the near future. His decision to team up with Golden State, a team that has already won multiple titles in recent years, speaks volumes about his desire to return to the top of the league. But the move has also drawn criticism from some quarters. Critics have pointed to Durant's previous move to the Warriors in 2016, which many fans and analysts felt was a move to an already superpowered team in pursuit of an easier championship. Now, with the Warriors again, Durant is facing similar backlash. While some argue that Durant's talent is undeniable and that his decision to join Golden State is simply about maximizing his chances of winning, others feel that his move to a team with such a loaded roster is a sign of weakness. Despite the criticism, the move solidifies the Warriors as the team to beat heading into the new season. The Western Conference is sure to be a battleground, with the Warriors now even stronger with Durant poised to dominate. For Durant, his legacy will be forever tied to his decision to join the Warriors once again. Will he add another ring to his collection? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. The NBA landscape has been irreversibly changed by his latest move. Fans are eagerly awaiting what promises to be another thrilling season of basketball. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.